Bluff City Media presents the No Bluffing podcast. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, Christian Ingram and Evan Hayes. Now, let's get to the show.
Grizz Nation, what's going on? I'm Chris Ingram.
And I'm Evan Hayes.
And we are the No Bluffin podcast, where we keep it all the way real, all the way raw, and all the way honest about everything Grizzlies, man. So excited to be back for another episode for sure. Evan, how you feeling, my guy?
I'm feeling good, but it's not a favorite. For everybody, I am back in my room. That means I'm back in Memphis. So y'all ain't got to worry about me going back and forth between my dorm room, Memphis, dorm room. Yeah, I'm back in the city of the Blues. I'm back in the Bluff City. So I'm glad to be back home, bro. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, man. Can't complain too much.
For sure, man. That's what's up, man. Got a lot to talk about, in a sense.
Yeah, for sure.
we got some stuff that we trying to line up for y'all this summer, man. But obviously, in the dog days of the season, when your team don't make the playoffs, no matter what the reason may be, you got to come up here and figure out a way to make the content interesting and bring, good topics for y'all. And that's what we're here to do, man. So,
yes,
number one, let me tell y'all, let me give y'all just some quick kudos and thank yous for those that have been reaching out and supporting us on this journey. We've been getting a lot of just, private messages saying how, people love the show. They love the direction that we're taking it and supporting what we do. So we definitely appreciate that. Everybody that views, whether you reach out or not, we just appreciate you just taking the time rocking with us. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be doing anything else. There's so much other basketball or Grizzlies content out there that you could be listening to. So we just, appreciate y'all definitely locking in for sure.
No, most definitely. Two guys are fairly new faces to the Bluff City YouTube channel. So, there's always some learning curves that we have to go through, but it's good to hear that y'all actually rocking with us and liking our content. So all that does motivate us to keep bringing y'all fire content. So again, thank you for all the comments on our last video. We probably our most viewed, our most engaged video on all platforms, on YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, and Apple. That's what the number's saying. So again, just kudos to everybody that tapped in with us. And hopefully this one can be as bad as the last one and keep going from there.
We doing our best. That's for sure, man.
I'm trying to.
If you haven't already, make sure you tap in below right here. Give us a follow on Twitter. We love to engage with y'all over there, as well as our personal feeds right here as well. Always cool to follow the personal page, because we can kind of get a little bit more off on the personal pages. What you got?
Y'all still not rocking with your boy. This man has 1,000 followers. I ain't even reached 400 yet. What? I'm gonna start a petition. I'm gonna start a hashtag. Follow Evan Hayes or Justice for Evan, because y'all ain't rocking with your boy. Like, we giving y'all. I'm gonna keep saying it. Y'all, Chris will get tired of me. Y'all get tired of me. I'm gonna pitch it for every show until I at least get to 500.
Hey, do your thing.
Until y'all give me the 500 followers, I'm gonna give y'all a case about it. So rock with your boy. Stop being angry at me, bro. Rock with your boy. Follow me, please. Keep following Chris, obviously, but he already got a K. Come on, at least he got a K. Your boy ain't 500 yet. Like, come on, fam.
Give me the 2K. Come on, man. Give me the 2K. Come on, get my guy to 1, and then we'll start his 2K.
Oh, this way, yeah. I got to point this way for him. Yeah, I got this way. Get my rock with my boy.
You go this way, I go that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Bonus points if you know what movie they came from. I hope you do. But yeah, man. I always give you an off the wall, some kind of just
always some
that I come up with.
Some.
Mm-hmm. I'm a kind of just back up off of that today. I ain't gonna throw no curveballs at you. I'm gonna leave you be. Okay. I do want to just get your opinion, though. Obviously, it's not a topic for today, but I just want to get your opinion and your thoughts on the whole Ja Morant, his agency
signing with Mike Miller.
That finally coming to a head, because we had a lot of people scared to death. I wasn't one of them. I was expecting it to be clutch, and I was gonna be happy if it was clutch, but I didn't give a damn either way. But I just want to get your thoughts real quick on it. Just seeing that news come through late last week.
No, just shout out 12, bro. Real talk. Just shout out to I wouldn't have been mad if he went to clutch, but that's what a lot of people thought he was gonna do. But I always like keeping it close to home, even though Mike Miller isn't from Memphis, but he's from Memphis. You feel me? Like, he has roots here. He a Memphian, like, he has roots here. His sons went to school here. Like, he built his family here. So always staying close within the family is always good. For all the ones saying like, oh, Ja Morant is now a Memphis lifer. Maybe yes, but he got his Grizzlies logo on his tattoo for his back last year. Like, if he forget that means like, again, I'm saying I'm glad that he like signed with Clutch. I mean, not with Clutch, with Mike Miller. Like, obviously, but it didn't move me that much because I already knew Ja ain't going nowhere unless some unforeseen happens with the front office and Ja just gets sick of it. I don't see Ja Morant. I see Ja Morant playing the rest, all of his prime. Maybe not the whole career, but at the worst, all of his prime in the Memphis Grizzlies uniform. So good. Yeah. Shout out 12. Shout out Mike Miller for getting a big name in Ja Morant. But it's a net positive for everybody involved.
Yeah, if he goes on to have a Mike Conley,
run, yeah,
Mark Gasol-esque Grizzlies run.
I
would not be upset, But if he does stay here to the term of his career, then shit, we ain't gonna be mad either, So either way it go, it was definitely good to see that news just finally get out the way so people can just stop the crazy thoughts on these subjects, man. We try to be right and look too deep into this stuff. It don't be that deep sometimes, bro.
It really don't. It really don't. 12 love Memphis and Memphis love 12. Simple as that. So he's gonna sign with somebody they feel like gonna put him in the best position to represent the Memphis Grizzlies and himself. But we all know his last representation probably wasn't the best. We all know that. We don't have to go into the ins and outs of that. So
I don't even know who's there. I mean, John just made some crazy bonehead decisions, bro.
Yeah, but I still feel like it's still a PR thing, like of what you want to get out and who you hanging around you. I still think it's some of his PR team like not being so courteous. Yeah, John made some good bad decisions, but I still feel like the people behind you should like, okay, let's try our best not to not get this picture out here and not let this get out. Because like when he was in a strip club in that picture, I'm like, okay, well, someone on his team had like flag. Someone's got to get ahead of that before he didn't doing wrong. Him being in a strip club, but like who cares? But it wasn't a good situation. But we ain't gonna harp on that. But I think bottom line, I think it's an upgrade. Bottom line,
yeah. And he got ties with Mike Miller. He's been cool with him for a while since he's been in the city. So it's always good to see that, just had that personal connection.
For sure.
He also got he got at least one heavy hitter on his roster already in Paolo Banchero. So a lot of people always talk about moving parts. I don't believe in that. But if it was to take place, I would love to have Paolo on the Grizzlies. And ain't too many people that I would try to, make off limits to make that happen. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I'll put that out there.
We'll talk about that. Okay. Don't spoil it, Chris. Come on.
Man. Yeah. My bad. But yeah, man, salute to Ja. Salute to Mike Miller. Y'all getting that it's always good to keep it in house like this. So y'all know what's coming, man. We got the No Bluffin news coming up. Got some really good topics for y'all today, actually. That we're going to get through. So before we do anything else, the first topic, we got to start with the queen.
The GOAT.
Candace Parker.
One of the GOATs. It probably is the GOAT, but let's say one of the GOATs. Candace Parker announced today, maybe like 2 hours before we recorded, maybe 2.5. It just happened.
It wasn't long. Yeah.
It wasn't long ago that she is announcing her retirement from the WNBA, from basketball in general.
Yep.
Bottom line, shout out her. She's probably the person that probably got me into women's basketball. Honestly, her and Maya Moore was probably the two people that got me into watching WNBA basketball. And she's just a pivotal of women's basketball, just basketball in general. Like, she's a multiple-time MVP, multiple-time NBA champion, multiple-time college champion, gold medalist, rookie of the year, defensive player of the year. Like,
she's done it, man.
She's done everything. She's won a championship with 3 different franchises, which is even forget women's basketball. In basketball, period, people don't do that.
LeBron James.
LeBron James, Robert Horry, if you want to count that, but like, it's a fact though. It's a fact. It's a fact. But nah, shout out Candace. She is definitely I think she get her jersey retired definitely University of Tennessee if they do that. They should do that. University of Tennessee, definitely in probably Chicago and probably LA, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe Las Vegas, but she didn't really play for Las Vegas that much.
Nah, I didn't.
But definitely LA, and I would say Chicago too, just because she's been a pivotal person of women's basketball. So shout out Candace Parker.
For sure, man. It's crazy, like you said. That's really all I want to hit on. Suck we didn't get to see her and Asia play together. I think that would have just been amazing to see that. That's why I was really banking on this season, like, because I can't remember if she had just agreed to another year or if she already had a 2-year deal anyway. But I could have sworn a few weeks ago, she was talking about how she was gearing up, ready to, come back this season. But your body will tell you, and if it's out there looking different, I know she put a long post on Instagram talking about, just kind of how she viewed, her exit in the game. She wanted to do it on her terms, and when it was time to go, it was time to go. D Wade kind of did the same thing. He didn't try to stretch out no long career. He knew when it was time to roll, it was time to roll.
Yeah.
I done hit my camera. My bad, y'all.
It's all good.
But yeah, man, just story career. Glad to see her, like I said, go out on her own terms, and wish her nothing but the best. And post career, man, she still gonna be on TNT, I'm sure.
Yeah,
and with Turner Sports, whatever they have her do. Hopefully, we get to see her coaching one day. I think she'll be great at it, honestly. So
me too.
She is the current GOAT in my book, but I will tell you this: Aja is right there, and she ain't even been in the league long. So Aja is, I mean, we talking about accolades and stuff like that. You give Aja a couple years, boy, quickly.
She getting up there, most definitely.
So yeah, shout out to her, man, on her retirement. Number 2, NFL draft. It did conclude over the weekend. 3 days, 7 rounds, a bunch of players. I think it got up to over 200 something players or close to that. They got drafted. Plus, you had other people that got signed immediately afterwards, man. So, just talk about your reactions to the draft. Any surprises? Any just dope moves that you saw or picks that you like? And we just kind of go from there.
I'm going to be on the pessimistic side because I honestly don't watch the NFL draft that much, but this shot was tuned in because there was a lot of big names in it.
Yeah.
Number 1, the Atlanta Falcons are very stupid. I love Michael Penix Jr. I love him as a quarterback. But why would you pay Kirk Cousins $50 million to sign a guy in the top 10 that you could have got maybe late first round or maybe second round at that? You don't draft that guy 8th overall. I'm sorry. You don't do that.
You didn't like him? You didn't think Penix was going to be...
Honestly, I feel like the only locks for first round that I would have took was Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. I didn't think Drake May is like Drake May number 3 to me is crazy. Drake May number 3 is insane to me.
Yeah.
I didn't think Bo Nix was gonna go that high, honestly, either. I thought I was gonna see him as like maybe a late first round guy, maybe. I didn't expect 5 quarterbacks to get taken in the first round.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Like, I didn't see that. So not hating on Penix as a player. Penix is a baller. I feel like if he didn't have his injury history, I feel like he probably would have been right up there with Caleb Williams, probably debating for the number 1 pick. I think it was outside of just him playing this year. But I didn't like that move at all. You don't pay a guy fit to have you don't do that. Number 1, the Buffalo Bills are also very stupid. Yes, they got that guy in the second round with Keon Coleman. Yes, Keon Coleman's a baller. You don't trade with your biggest rival to let them get another wide receiver when you need a wide receiver.
I mean, when the boat is rocky, though, you got to make moves, brother. If people don't want to be there, you got to do something. But you're right.
No, you could have got Keon Coleman at the same pick. You could have got him at the same pick.
Yeah.
You could have got him. He got picked 33rd. First pick for the second round. They had pick 29. You tell me you couldn't wait 4 picks to get the same dude? Well, 4 picks to get the same dude.
But you never know, though, bro. Like
you
that.
Trade,
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
No, my last thing. You trade with your biggest rival, the Kansas City Chiefs, and allow them. No, first of all, you trade with your biggest rival. That's number 1. Number 2, you allow them to get the fastest guy in the draft. The whole thing about Patrick Mahomes, they would say Patrick Mahomes didn't have a deep threat. So what exactly do you give them? A deep threat?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me, fam. Like from a strategic football perspective, it doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah, I look at it like this, man. Like, and I've been listening to a lot of people, during the draft, after the draft, things like that. And I saw even a lot of people that's in Grizz Twitter. Obviously, a lot of Grizz fans love football as well. Yeah, talking about how like they wish a lot of Grizz fans are Titans fans, and I heard a lot of them having certain just issues with the way that the Titans operated in the beginning of the draft. They were like, well, you could have traded back and got more value instead of taking what's his name, J.C. Latham early as they took him.
Yeah,
it's like, bro. You can say that when it's just a mock board, but when you in that war room and you start to see picks falling left and right, you can't really say that for sure. Because like you said, I've been watching Penix the whole draft cycle because he was linked to the Broncos. It was him and J.J. McCarthy, which I'm glad we didn't get him, but they were like, oh, he's going to go get J.J. McCarthy in the draft. So you started to see them, Bo Nix, they were talking about Bo Nix and Penix falling to the second round.
Yeah.
All that stuff we started to see, bro, is a smoke screen. Sean Payton, which again, talking from my Broncos point of view, he said that us picking Bo Nix at 12 was always the goal for them. Like their top 3 quarterbacks was Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Bo Nix. So the other guys that went before him, they didn't even care if they failed. So you look at it like, we were bluffing this whole time, but let's say that the Broncos get cute. They knew that was their guy. They trade back and somebody else been looking at them too. They're like, oh, we didn't think he was gonna fall. Now your whole 3-day goal is messed up. You know what I'm saying? So I get that, but we talk about it in the basketball draft all the time that your pick is only a number at the end of the day. Like, you value what you value at that pick, and you roll the dice and see what happens. So, I'm kind of with you on that. I was surprised so many offensive linemen went, early as they did.
Oh, that went a lot, yeah.
Yeah, that and quarterbacks was definitely the thing of the first round. But outside of that, in between, it was a lot of value in this draft. Again, I got to toot my own horn and shout out the Broncos. We picked up 2 University of Memphis players after the draft. I can't remember the guy. He was a D tackle. His name is losing me right now. But we also got Blake Watson out of the running back out of the backfield. So I wanted him in the draft. We got 2 running backs, and they actually gave him, I think he has the most guaranteed money of an undrafted free agent. So shout out to the Broncos for giving the U of M prospect some love on that. I'm gonna definitely root for him for sure on that. But overall, it was a good draft for me, bro. A lot of talent, and I'm excited for the season for sure.
No, it should be a good one. Of course the big thing is Caleb Williams. Obviously, people want to see what he does, and I like that they got him a wide receiver very early too. I can't remember the guy's name. I can't remember the top of his name.
Dunzo,
yeah,
like that.
That's I'm glad they're valuing, because they knew that with Justin Fields. They didn't wait. They waited 2-3 years for him to get a wide receiver. Oh yeah, Romo Dunze out of Washington. Yeah, that's I like that they. I just like teams that value the guys they draft, and they're showing that. Like, even with the Broncos, y'all drafted a center, and then y'all drafted another wide receiver, didn't y'all?
We got 2 receivers. We got Bo Nix's teammate in the 4th round, which he was slated to go in the 2nd round. So value was all over that board, bro.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I feel like a lot of these teams they were drafting off of need and not just best player available. Right. Excluding the Atlanta Falcons, there's still no way I can justify that whatsoever.
I feel bad for Penix, bro.
Real talk, I feel bad for Penix. I thought he was gonna be a starter, or at least
he should be
start day one. Now it's gonna be another Jordan Love situation. It's gonna be another Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers situation. And I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is as good as Aaron Rodgers. Of course, I'm not saying that.
Right.
But it's gonna be a type of where he's gonna be sent for 1, 2, 3 years, and the only way he doesn't start day one, or the only way he does start day one, is if Kirk Cousins isn't back off his Achilles injury as soon as they think.
If he's hurt, then that's gonna be a blessing.
That's the only I feel like Atlanta may think Kirk may not be back by then, so they drafted. But you could have got a veteran so you could have got anyone else. You could have got
Sam Darnold or something.
Sam, you don't take a top 10 pick on a position you don't need. There's no ifs and buts about it. But
I also feel bad for the Raiders, bro, because I heard that he was on top of their board. So to see Penix
he would have been big. He'd have been big for them for sure.
Man,
he'd have been big for them. Yeah, been big for him. I feel like he probably would have liked Las Vegas too, just being the guy, undoubtedly the guy in the city of Las Vegas. But hey, neither of us are NFL GMs, so we will never understand what it'd be like to be in an NFL war room. But hey, we're only two guys in Clarksville and Memphis talking about sports. But what do we know?
Yep. Man, make sure y'all comment below and let us know what was your most surprising moment in the draft, if you indulged any at all. We definitely want to hear from you on that topic. And last one, I know Evan don't agree with me putting this out there, but you know what?
Like it.
I'm gonna do it anyway. You can call me Bluffodamus if you will.
Bluffodamus is
because we are recording this before the game, but I'm just gonna go ahead and call it. The T-Wolves have swept the Phoenix Suns, effective today. They did not make it out of that series, and the Timberwolves are moving on. So whoever they decide to play, or whoever comes up out of that third, what is it? 3-3?
Yeah, it's 2-3. It's 2-7. They're the 3-6, so they're gonna get the 2-7 winner.
Okay.
They're gonna get yeah.
Yep. So and hopefully my prediction is they end up making it to the conference finals at this point and facing the Nuggets. But just talk about, man, the letdown of the Suns, man, and kind of, I guess you could say, even the emergence of the T-Wolves, how they look to you.
I'm not surprised by anything. I'm not surprised when KD initially went to the Suns and when they got Brad Beal. You can't win like that when you have 3 just pure scores on the same team. So for number one, I'm not surprised. And number two, I will never believe KD is a good number one option on a championship team. He just hasn't been. He's a great player. He's a top 15 player of all time. I would never trust him as being the engine of any team he's on. I just won't. He hasn't shown he's been able to. He just hasn't shown it. So I'm not surprised. Number two, I feel like yes, Anthony Edwards is one of them ones. I used to be an Anthony Edwards non-believer, but now I'm a believer. He's one of them ones. So this series has shown me that he is gonna be probably one of the best players in the league, or if not the best player in the league in the next 2 to 3. It's gonna be him, Ja, Luka, and Wemby, all like in SJ, all battling for like.
He showed the most marketed.
Yeah, like they love them as Anthony Edwards. But I just feel like the Wolves just have a good matchup. I don't believe in the Wolves. I really don't. I don't believe in the Wolves or the Thunder. Yeah. I just feel like they got a good matchup because they're the 3 seed. They're gonna be playing the Nuggets next series. The Nuggets are gonna twax them. I'm sorry. The Nuggets are the 2 seed because the Thunder are the 1 seed. So they're gonna play the Nuggets next series. Yes, because the Thunder got the number 1 seed. They played the Pelicans. Because remember, the Thunder beat the Nuggets to get the number 1 seed.
So you say it'd be 1-3-2-4.
Yes.
Whoever comes out of those.
Yeah, whoever.
The Wolves and the Thunder. I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna take the Wolves on that. Thunder ain't ready to me. They waxing the Pelicans, but
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. The Thunder are the 1 seed. The Nuggets are the 2 seed. The Wolves are the 3 seed. Yeah. The Thunder and the Wolves are the Nuggets and the Wolves are playing each other next series. I'm telling you that because it's one. I'm telling you. Look at the bracket.
You're right. It is 2-3. It's not 1-4. It is 2-3. You're right.
Exactly.
My bad. I said it wrong.
Yeah. So what's gonna happen is the Thunder are gonna play who wins between the Mavericks and the Clippers. That's what they're playing. So my prediction is the Nuggets are gonna twax the Wolves. Whoever comes out of that series, the Thunder and the Mavericks gonna beat the Clippers, and it's gonna be either Kyrie and Luka versus Jokic, or Paul George and Kawhi versus Jokic. That's my prediction.
Okay.
I don't believe in none of those teams, but that's just my opinion. I just think the Wolves just got a really good matchup with the Suns not being a good team, like logistically top to bottom. That's just my opinion.
I stand corrected. I actually said that wrong. So yeah, if y'all listening, I got that totally wrong. I don't know why my brain was thinking that, but you're right. They play in the next round, not in the conference finals. And if again, I'm still taking the Nuggets over them. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Jokic gonna have Cat and go very hell. Go be in hell, bro. So I just ain't worried about that. But y'all let us know below, man. Just with that whole Sun situation, how that went down. What's your thoughts on it? It sucks. But we talked about it last week. Top heavy don't always win, bro. And when you bet on you mortgage your future and you bet on your top guys like that with no really help. Grayson Allen sucks for him, but you just got paid to go down with an injury like that. You just want injury away when you ain't got no depth, man. So,
I feel like the Suns and the Clippers are on the same boat. If both of them teams lose in first round, both teams are getting blown up.
You see Kawhi not playing. It's like, bro, what are we doing?
And
we forcing this for what?
And speaking of that, I don't know if you're keeping track, but the Mavericks were down by like 25 at halftime. Now it's a 9-point game in the fourth quarter. They fought their way back to be in the game. So now we're looking at maybe, depends on how it is in the recording, the Mavericks may be going up 3-1 right now. You never know what might happen.
Possible, yeah.
It's possible. They've walked them down so far. We'll see where that went by the end we done recording.
Well,
but I just feel like the Clippers and the Suns, I feel like both of them, they will get exit out either first, second round, they get booted out early, and then we'll see what happens after that. They can blow up the team,
If you listen to this episode, this podcast last week, we talked about a particular player that's in that series.
And who's also playing very well right now. He has 28 points right now. If y'all know who we're talking about.
I ain't rooting for his downfall, but I'm rooting for their downfall.
The Clippers downfall, for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Paul George on the Grizzlies would be a godsend for sure.
Shout out PG-13, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, look, that's all we got for the No Bluffin news. Like I said, great topics today. But before we get into our main first topic of the day, we're going to hit y'all with our first break like we always do. We'll be back on the other side.
And we say all this, and now there's already talk. They haven't even done the 12 team. And Kenny, they're already talking about expanding it to 14 in 2026.
I'm down for every bit of it.
I am too. Expand it. Keep going. Kenny, have you seen what the proposal is for the expanded to 14? 3 guaranteed SEC, 3 guaranteed Big 10. That's 6. 2 ACC, 2 Big 12. So now you're at 10, and then 1 G5 representative with 3 at large. Top 2.
That's going to be that way anyway.
Is it? I mean,
it's going to be that way anyway. So why not?
Yeah, likely.
I don't mind it if it gets the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, all those power conferences on board. Do it. Why not?
As long as we still get a shot. Yeah, I think as long as
any G5 still has a chance, right?
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Even with all that joking about what I just said, like Memphis is still top talented team in the conference. If they're not one, they're two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you be shocked to see them? I don't really care if they went out, but I would not be surprised to see this team go in the tournament, 4 games in 4 nights, win the thing.
They have the talent to do so. It's never been done at Memphis. It's hard. That 2005 team with Darius Washington was trying to do it, needed to win the conference tournament to make the NCAA tournament. Darius Washington misses the free throws, but that was 4 in 4 days. You've got this situation now. Yeah, Memphis is talented enough. There's no question about it, but especially when you consider the fact that there's a good chance, it feels like Malcolm Dandridge not going to play against East Carolina. If you don't have him the rest of the season, it does leave you extremely thin in the front court. And so making this run, running the table the rest of the regular season, winning what we think probably going to be 4 games in 4 days, you're going to probably have to do it with like 6 guys.
Yeah.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the No Bluffin podcast. We appreciate y'all. Man, hey, Jason Smith got to be the smoothest voice or the smoothest dude, period, in Memphis media, man. Him sitting up there with Zane be tripping me out. He just be so cool, man. Shout out to Jason Smith.
Facts.
I was playing high school football and how I came to know him at the time anyway. He was covering college football. I mean, not college. He was covering high school football. So I was always trying to look for either my team or my name in the paper on one of his breakdowns, after the Fridays games and things like that. So shout out to him, man, doing this thing over at 92.9 ESPN for sure.
For sure. I want to say one quick thing. I think it's very funny. We was just talking about on the Candace Parker retirement. A lot of people on Twitter saying just how Jordan retired before LeBron came to the league. LeBron, in this essence, is Caden Clark. So think about that. Just think about that for a second. This may be that type of same situation. You never know. Like, Caden Clark is the new big thing on the horizon, but one of the GOATs or the GOAT of women's basketball retiring just before she came to the league. So I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying we don't got to talk about it for too long, but I kind of like that comparison.
So who's Kobe Bryant?
So at that point, when
Wilson, right? Because she's okay.
Because when Bron came to the league, Kobe already got him 2-3 chips. He got him 3 chips by the time. Yeah, and Asia got 3, or she got 2 for sure.
We'll fact check that. I think it's 2.
At least 2. At least 2.
Yeah. Okay.
So that Kobe is Asia, Caitlin's Bron, Candace is Jordan.
So what's Juju gonna be? KD?
Yeah, Judy got a few good years, so maybe Juju. I feel like Juju gonna be better than all, but that's in my opinion.
That's me too. I agree. Juju coming to tear their mouth out. I can't wait.
So Juju may be a KD or a Steph. Juju may be Steph. Hey, think about it, but that's all. We ain't got to talk about it. I just saw that on Twitter. I was like, hey, I kind of like that.
Hey, by that time, I'm hoping Tennessee got a WNBA team, and Juju goes first pick to them, so we can see her a little bit up close and personal for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
We ain't got to travel too far. But make sure y'all check this ticker down below, man. If y'all want to become a sponsor of the No Bluffin podcast, we are looking for sponsors. So definitely shoot us an email at the email below, and we can definitely talk from there. But we'd love to have that conversation to get that going, man. So we'll just kick it into gear to our first main topic of the day, man. And it's really kind of a nuanced conversation. Yeah. But basically just putting it a spin on what we're seeing, what we're watching with this year's playoffs, and how it affects the Grizzlies. And what I mean by that is when you're starting to see these teams, where the game slows down or teams are a lot more locked into their matchup, they're able to scheme a lot differently because they know they're going to play the same play every single night. You're starting to see where basketball really comes like a methodical game. Yep. And I was just talking to my wife last night. We were watching the Nuggets and the Lakers, and just how it's crazy that, man, Jamal Murray probably may be one of, if not my favorite point guard in NBA outside of Ja Morant, because obviously he's a Grizzly and he's exciting. But bro is a cold-hearted killer every
He turns it on.
playoffs.
He turns it on. Like people say it's not a switch. No, he has to switch. And he
Absolutely.
finds that joint every playoffs. It's like he been doing it since the bubble. Like since that bubble with him, it's like him and Donovan Mitchell just like molded each other into the beast they are now because neither of them, they were both good players. They were both obviously good players, but they didn't come into what they are now until they both like fought in that series. And now they both Jamal Murray a little more than Donovan Mitchell, but now when it comes to playoffs, like he just turns it on like crazy, and it's ridiculous to see that, bro.
It's crazy, and he just don't get the respect that a lot of guys. For some reason we put Devin Booker on this pedestal, and it's just like I don't know if it's because Jamal Murray never got a haircut. I don't know if he wear baggy shorts and jersey. I don't know what it is. He's like he just don't give a damn about nothing else but going out there and hoop. And so with everything that we see, man, just talk about how, from what you've seen, the playoffs, kind of how it's unfolding right now. What do the Grizzlies need to kind of take from what they're watching into next year to kind of like put into their own, game plan to say, if we want to be, competing for a length of time in the playoffs, what do we need to take from this to implement, to our game plan to be successful?
Kind of a few things. Like, number one, I says the stars have to show up consistently, and you need at least 2 or 3 guys to go with you. I feel like that's a recipe for success every playoffs.
Yeah. Again,
I hate talking about the Lakers, but people crucify D'Angelo Russell for having 0 points one game, but having like 17 points, or having a good game another game.
Right.
LeBron and AD are gonna do their thing, but your guy, you need at least 2 guys to go with you. Like, for example, with the Nuggets, Jokic and Murray are gonna give you what they give you no matter what. But they have Aaron Gordon, they have Michael Porter Jr., they have Christian Braun. Like, they have at least 2 or 3 guys that's going to give you something consistently every night. So, yes, Ja and Dez, now I'm just going to use them 2 as the stars. Ja and Dez are going to give you them every night. And I feel like they're probably the most consistent players on the team. But that means Jaren, Gigi, Vince, Vince Williams, not Zaire. Vince Williams, and Marcus Smart, they have to come along with them every single time. The other one, offensive and defensive discipline. We all know, in the playoffs, the game slows down. Like you said, schemes are more locked in on certain players. You got to be able to run stuff late in games. You got to. The games are gone. The days are gone where you just 8-12, go win the game for us. 8-13, go win the game. You can't do that in playoffs, bro, because if you race against a Mike Malone or Eric Spoelstra or Greg Popovich, any of these type of elite coaches, they sitting on that all game because they know you don't have anything to run.
Right.
The reason why, if y'all watch the game where the Nuggets walked down the Lakers in game 2, the reason why they made that comeback because they ran something every time down the floor and it worked. They got quality shots and quality buckets. The Lakers didn't play bad that game. They didn't play bad at all. The Lakers should have won that game. But the reason why they didn't, because the Nuggets got more quality shots on the offensive end every time down. They were getting the ball on Jokic in the high post or the high screen roll, him and Jamal Murray, and they went to work. And they capitalize on the other team's mistakes, but they're disciplined. Like, you have to be disciplined on that. And same thing on the other side, defensively, you can't have no petty fouls, Jaren. I know it's not just Jaren, but I'm gonna pick on him. You can't have no bonehead. You 3 feet away from the help side, you still trying to get the block, bro. Like, we don't need that. If you're not in position to get the block, just put your hands up and contest the shot. Things like that make the difference between winning a playoff game and losing a playoff game. So there's discipline on both sides. Of course, obviously health, because we see there are a lot of series. There are a lot of series that Jimmy Butler's out right now. Joel Embiid is playing with one knee and one side of his face, which is crazy. I'm not even trying to be funny. He literally has a nerve issue in his face. Julius Randle for the Knicks. He's not playing well right now. Like, he's not in the lineup right now. So of course we need help. So that's pretty much my takeaways, man. Just you have to be disciplined on offensive defensive end. You need to have the stars need to work consistently, and your guys got to go with you, and help. And also, last thing, coaches have to be able to make adjustments on the fly. Taylor Jenkins, speaking at you, you can't run the same stuff every game, bro. You got to adjust between game and night. Eric Spoelstra is the king of adjustments, and that's why I think he's like probably my favorite coach of all time. Just like outside of Memphis people, obviously,
right?
Because he maximizes his guys so much, especially in play. He just knows what it takes to win. There's no reason why, in my opinion, there's no reason why the Heat with Jimmy Butler has been that successful. Just talent-wise, I don't feel like they've been. They don't have the talent to be as successful they have over the past few years. You know why? Yes, Jimmy Butler has played well. Yes, Bam Adebayo has played well. but it's irresponsible, and he knows how to win certain series and know how to adjust
do.
on the fly. So I know I hit on a lot, but just watching the playoffs, those are like the 4 or 5 things that we have to pull into going into next year.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, bro. Like when it come down to the game slowing down, and we talk about this all the time. Like, I love Ja Morant, bro. Like, I do. We all do. You got to make the game a little bit easier for him.
You got to.
Now, he got to he got to play a part in this too, because he's got to get a consistent jump shot. I don't care if it's from mid range or the 3. I actually would prefer the mid range because, it's an easier shot. Number one,
it's a lost art too.
It's a lost art. Like that. It's there for him every night if you want it, and you got to pick your poison, because if I don't want him to get to the basket, I gotta give up something. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about, and it's so true. The NBA game, when it comes to playoffs, it's not about game planning and stopping everything a team's gonna do, because you're just not gonna do that. The talent is too far up here to try to scheme that way. The NBA playoffs is about you scheming to basically say we want to give this particular thing up every single night. So if it is the mid-range tonight, that's what we have schemed to give up. If it's a 3-point, if it's we're giving up the lane for whatever reason, then that's what we're scheming to do, and we're not going to let you beat us in these other ways. And you got to live with the consequences of that decision. But it's one of the things where like Ja having a mid-range or a jumper period would just make it such a easier thing for him. But you still have to find some kind of way to have a go-to set, like you said so perfectly. That's not go get a bucket, like you said. I'm sitting here watching. And they don't care how many times they run this shit, bro. Like, this is what gets me. Jamal Murray and Jokic, they damn near are running the same play every time down.
It's just different options. It's just different options out of the same play. That's it. It's just in different options, hit different variations of the same play. That's all it is. And Jokic's getting a high post, and he create or high screener over both of them, and they hit one of the shooters. They just doing, or Jamal Murray just getting to his spot. Like, that's literally what happens. The only time that they saw him get a bucket is when he hit the game winner over AD. That was just a broken play, go. Right. But 9 times out of 10 down, they running the same stuff, and you just can't stop it because they're disciplined, bro. Mike Malone has them guys running like a well-oiled machine. Like, yes, it's hard to compare because they're the defending champs, but they're the defending champs for a reason.
Take that out of the picture. Like, they are, like you said, they're the most disciplined team in basketball. That's just what it comes down to. They're not the most athletic. Jamal Murray ain't going out there dunking on nobody. We know Jokic ain't. We know Michael Porter. I mean, he got his flashes, but he's mainly going to hit those timely 3-pointers. You got KCP, same thing, shot maker, defender. They don't really got nobody out there just out there throwing lobs crazy. Aaron Gordon, he have his moments, obviously, but he's later in his career than what he used to be. Yeah. So it's like, for us to have the talent that we have, the youth that we have, the athleticism that we have, bro, you have to find a way. I get it that they're young, but find a way to just to simplify this offense and get them guys multiple options. And I kind of end on this. I was listening to Dan Hurley. He was UConn head coach, just
of course,
2-time back-to-back NCAA champion. One of my picks, of new to be a future Grizzlies coach, if he decided to do it. Yeah. But he was kind of breaking down how he came up with his offense, kind of where he pulled from. And I can't remember the exact play that he was referencing to, but what he did was he said, I saw a play where these particular actions were going on. And I said, okay, I love that as a set. He said, but now he said, I look at it almost like football. He said, when you got at the line, you got maybe 5 different routes that your receivers are going to run in this situation. He said, well, I look at the game the same way. It's just in basketball, it's not as many players doing this, different things. He said, but I took that one set, and he said we had so many constant actions coming out of that one play that, like we talking about with the Nuggets, it's probably going to be a different result every time, depending on if a player overhelps, if they step in the lane, step out of the lane, if they want to take one particular thing away, if they're shading the player in this corner or whatever, you're going to probably get a different result every time. But he said we can run so many different things out of this one action. And he said the thing about it is that just because a shot goes up, the actions don't stop. See, a lot of time when we get a shot up, Jaren and them running back on the other end. We talk about his rebounding, but a lot of times, dude is taking off. I don't agree with it, but if that's the way that they want, Santi doing the same shit. I can't really just single him out on that. That has been a staple in their way of I remember when I started playing 2K a long time ago, my cousin, he got in the settings, and I was like, bro, what is you doing? He just turning stuff all the way up. But one of them was either crash the boards or go back and transition. He had his on crash the boards.
Of course.
And I'm putting mine the other way. And you can see how it can change the game. You know? Yeah. So it's one of them things to where, like he said, you know, when the shot goes up, we still are running things to where if we get the rebound, we're gonna get a shot out of this rebound. It's not gonna be something that we got to work again to get. And I said, man, that shit is so genius. It's simple. And I think a lot of times we think because you got the professionals that we can't like we overstepping if we want to like do certain things. But I'm like, that's a dude that knows what he wants, you know, on the basketball court. And if we can get our guys, whatever it may be, you just got to get them involved more, man. And so that's what I look at. Having depth pieces like we talked about last week, make sure you got, as much firepower as you got, having health, but you got to put your guys in the best, position to win. And I don't care if it's the same action. Just make sure it's something that we know, no matter what, when we run this, we're going to get a basket. And we got the guys to do it. It ain't like we ain't got the talent, So that's just kind of where I'm at with it, bro.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, bro. Like, I really hope Taylor Jenkins, Ja, Dave, like the whole organization is really watching these playoffs. And I really hope they understand that talent-wise, if we was in the playoffs right now, I would put us against any team top to bottom talent-wise. But I also think we'll get our kicked off of discipline and how we running offenses and stuff. We can compete with the Nuggets talent-wise for sure. But as right now is what we've seen the past 2-3 years, I feel like we can compete with them discipline-wise or just running things. No, they'll wash out the floor. We'll hang in them games just strictly off our talent.
That's it.
But the difference is in the playoffs is when you have the talent and you can maximize it the best way.
Yeah. And
people staying level-headed, no unnecessary techs, no lapses on defense, no bad rotations, no bad offensive rebound that we can't. Cause we see that a lot with all the bigs sometimes. Probably the only one that don't really have any lapses like defensively and rebounds probably Brandon Clark. That I can think of. But Jaren has some. Santi has a lot. Santi has a whole lot. Like with all our bigs, like even he may not. We'll talk about that a little bit. He may be on the team next year, but Trey Jefferson even sometimes he's just a little too aggressive. He's just knocking dudes off the like all that. So it's just all about like that energy, just reeling it in the best way. And I feel like that starts now. That doesn't start in the off season. I mean, that doesn't start in training camp. We're going in off season right now. That doesn't start in training camp. That doesn't start during preseason. That starts now. Yeah. So it's a lot of things I feel like the Grizzlies or just Grizzlies fans could see like, hey, if we pivot this or switch this around, we can actually have something good in our hands next year, and not just thinking at the top bottom people, the people on the paper, how that actually looks, because we look at the roster like, we probably gonna be good next year, like we probably gonna win a championship. That's only a part of it. It's saying how does that look in our season when we're playing the Timberwolves, when we're playing the Nuggets, if we're playing the Thunder. How does that look logistically of how we're going to run our things to maximize the guys that we have? Yep.
I got a question for you, bro, because as you was talking, it made me kind of think about this. I know we always I ain't saying we, but it's, a lot of people give Taylor Jenkins credit for us always, for the most part, having a top defense in the NBA. Yeah. That's one thing that we can say we've been able to hang our hat on. I put an asterisk to that because it's like I think Sean Coleman, shout out to him, Blood City Media, he talked about this early at the beginning of the season, how for I want to say the last 3 years or so, it's taken us till January to kick our defense into gear. A lot of times we figuring it out or we getting our ass kicked on the 3-point line or just period until 3 months in. But once it breaks, it actually is a good thing. But I say this, do we overvalue or should we overvalue? However you want to answer that, should we or do we overvalue our team being a top defensive team versus maybe switching our focus to making us a top 10, top 5 offense? Like, do you agree, or what's your thoughts on us possibly just changing that philosophy? And I know that may take a coaching change. Sometimes you don't really see coaches change their philosophy in the middle of their tenure, but just what's your thoughts on that? Is that something we should do, or do you think it's even possible?
Should we do it? Yes. Do I think we are going to do it? No, because our personnel doesn't have us. It's just like a go up and down, score 130 points a game type team. We just don't have the personnel. I don't think we have the firepower shooting-wise to do that. Yeah, Ja can fill in for 30, but I feel like for a team to score 130 points a game, either you have to be super efficient, super fast, or shoot the lights out the game. We can be fast, but we're not always the best efficiently wise, and we're not always the best just straight up shooting wise. Do I feel like it's a bad thing to switch offensively? No. Do I really see that happening? Also, no. Because I personally don't like Terry Jenkins' philosophy of switching everything. I hate it. We switch everything, and I can't stand it. Like, no matter who's on who, like everybody knows who's played basketball with me. I like staying home on defense because I feel like that just
let me get my guy.
Yeah, let me. I'm guarding you, Chris.
Yeah.
You ain't
getting nothing.
You say you got they gotta sit 2 or 3 screens for me to get off of you.
Yeah.
Switching in that, I feel like we should change that. But I feel like we can still win praise and constructed if we stick with the defensive focus. I think it's good for if we switch that. If we switch the offensive focus, I just don't see us have with the coaching change we have and with the person that we have on the roster. I don't see us making that switch.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my homeboys early in the week, and this is why another reason what made me think about it was talking about maybe not him specifically, but what if you had a Mike D'Antoni-esque coach to come in and just get these guys we not 7 seconds or less or nothing like that, but just our focus is just high-powered offense. Because I look at it like this, bro. You got Vince Williams on your team. Crazy, and he's a dog. But he also is a Swiss Army knife that can do a lot of everything. And he showed this year that he can't, really, honestly, since he's been here, he showed one thing he can do is knock down that corner three. Or knock down the three, period.
Open three, sure. Yeah, catch and shoot.
He can do that. So you got a guy that no matter what the scheme is, he's going to defend, period. It's just in his DNA. You got Marcus Smart, the former defensive player of the year. You don't got to give him a scheme to defend. He's going to defend. He's going to compete. You got
Lamar Stevens.
Hopefully, we're going to talk about that in a second. But hopefully he's back. Again, he kind of wired a little bit different from what I heard and from what I can see a little bit too. But he's going to defend. He's just going to compete. That's what he's going to do. These guys instinctively and in their DNA, they're going to defend. Jaren Jackson, he's a DPOY. Yeah, some people can say, he had Dylan. You can say whatever you want to say about his defensive player of the year award itself. But one thing about it, you can't take away the fact that he is a good shot blocker.
Yes.
Now, I think that the way that we scheme him and use him defensively, again, let him do it instinctively. Don't force him to be in certain positions because then, a lot of times he has had foul trouble and things like that. So I say all that to say this, like if you got these type of players on your team, if your focus is to, hey, instead of trying to figure it out on offense, let's get an offensive scheme that works, that we know we can go to in the game, middle of the game, when we down, when we up, it don't matter. And then when it's time to lock up, y'all just go lock up and go play basketball.
Let's go.
Like when we open gym, hey, like you said, go get your man. You work on not letting your man get anything off. Jerry, if you are in position to come over the top and help on the weak side or whatever from blocking, you do what you do. But if you're not, don't get in no ticky-tack situation to where you're jeopardizing us late game and not have you on the floor.
Yeah, I feel that.
I think that's a better change and a better way to use these guys. And again, I don't want to always to go like I'm trying to crap on Jenkins. I'm just talking about even if it was him, I would love to see that as a philosophy because it's just what's the point of getting all these stops, bro, if we can't score?
That's true.
That's just what it comes. And we got too much talent. That's why I love Gigi so much because you're talking about if we go into these series, and I'm finna be done so we can get to the last topic. But when you're talking about somebody trying to double Ja Morant,
you can't.
Try it. If you got Gigi, he been sitting in that weak side corner waiting for a kick, but he comes up to the top. He comes up to the top. He can either shoot it, or I know, like I've said on here, he has the talent of probably nobody on the team better than him at getting to the rim easily. You need that in the playoffs, and we have that. I just hope that they develop in the right way this summer. Obviously, whatever they do with him, starting, not starting, it's going to be what it's going to be. But having those type of players on your team when it comes down and matters most, that's what you need, bro. So I'm excited to see what they do next season, especially hopefully in the playoffs, Lord willing. But yeah, man, good talk for sure on that. It's been a lot of good ball, obviously. It's been a lot of bad ball too. Some bad matchups. But it's been good things that you can take, if you're a basketball watcher for sure.
Yep.
So make sure y'all put down below, in the comments how y'all feel about the playoffs. What's your takeaways? What do you want I'm going to say what you want the Lakers. I don't give a damn what the Lakers take away.
I hope they lose. I hope they lose again. What's on, bro? Forget the Lakers.
For real. But what y'all think the Grizzlies should take away from this, whether it's a player, coaching staff, organization, whatever it may be? And we definitely want to hear from y'all on that. So we got one more break, man. We can get out of here. We're gonna talk about consolidating this roster because we know it's something that probably needs to happen. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, so we'll see y'all on the other side of this break.
This past week, it not only kept that 1% hope alive, I think that percentage has grown because you see them beat Florida Atlantic, you realize they can beat just about anybody in conference if they can beat that team.
Yeah, and we've known this. They haven't shown that in quite a while, but we've known the whole year that Memphis is really at their best, at their peak max powers. They're capable of beating pretty much any team in college basketball. I believe that. I mean,
yeah,
they have very quality wins. They've went in tough environments and won games against quality opponents. Like, Memphis can beat a lot of top 25 teams in the country probably. They're just that good on paper. But for whatever reason, they only show up at certain times.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
The next 2 years, if they can find a roster that works with those guys making the money they make, they'll have 2 legitimate shots at titles, I think, for 2 years. And now after that, you figure out what you're going to figure out. Jaren's going to come up again and his money's going to be more. Maybe that's the point where you've got to break it up. This trade deadline and this offseason, acquiring some pieces that make sense for you, not development guys, not drafting guys, acquiring pieces and guys on favorable contracts that fit into your system, that finish those last little bits around the edges that you need. And that's, I think, why the next 2 years are so important. I think that's why the trade deadline is so important, as well as the offseason, because they've got to find pieces that work. They cannot develop guys. They're done with that. They can't be doing that anymore.
Time is done.
Tune in to The Daily Grind with Mark King and Lute Hatmaker at 1 p.m. every Monday through Friday, live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the No Bluffin podcast, man. We're finna end it on a good one for sure. Evan got some good information that I want him to kind of break down in regards to this. I asked him the question, man, and I texted her, what would you do if you were Zach Kleiman? So right now, you Evan Kleiman, man.
Put my GM hat on. You feel?
There
me?
you go. There you go.
GM. I gotta
make sure it's right. What would you? And I want to preface it with this for the listeners. The Grizzlies. Matter of fact, I got some Evan, I got some numbers real quick that I want to kind of set. I want to set the table for you real quick, brother.
Okay. Talk.
The Grizzlies right now, if you looked at it, they have about 14 players next year, but you actually can knock that down to 12 until something else happens. Reason I say that, Yuta Watanabe, we talked about it last show. He announced that he's not coming back. Salute to him. But that knocks you down to 13. And then it's to be determined if Luke Kennard is going to be on this team next year. So now that could go one or two ways, right? Maybe it's not Luke per se, but you could still use his contract, his spot, and stuff like that to bring in another player. Yep. So, but until it's done, right now as it stands, we're at 12. If you want to use his spot as something else in another deal, you can to make it 13. But we're gonna talk from 12, from a number of 12, right? You have your 13th player guaranteed more than likely. Again, however way you want to look at this, if they decide to go to that podium in June or July, when is the draft? Is it June? It's got to be June. It's June.
I think so. Yeah,
it's June 26th. I'm tripping.
Yeah.
When they go to that podium, or if they go to that podium, either they're gonna use that pick or they're gonna use that pick in a trade. So something is going to come back from that more than likely. That puts you at 13 before you even decide to bring Luke back. And that gives you about 2 spots left. With what we currently have, you're still, if I'm climbing, now you Evan climbing, so we're going to see what you say.
Yes, sir.
But I think bringing Lamar Stevens back should be easy, but also important just to bolster your back end and your rotation. He's not going to be a regular rotational player, but when somebody gets injured, I want that guy on the floor. I don't want to see no GD. I don't want to see no Zaire, and I don't care what y'all say. I don't give a damn about the last month of the season. Good job. Kudos to him for showing the post. But I don't want Luke LaRavia. I said Luke LaRavia.
Luke LaRavia is crazy. Oh, my goodness. Luke LaRavia is insane work. Oh, my gosh.
Jake LaRavia, I don't want him playing over Lamar Stevenson if he's here, which I hope so. So that's a spot. So you got some things you kind of got to shake. And if you got that much money at the end of your roster that's not being used, it's kind of a waste as well. So we also have a $12 million trade exception and from the Steven Adams trade, as well as a 9.3 that expires before, I want to say, the trade. Before the draft from the Dylan Brooks trade. So with all of that context provided for our listeners, just so you are a little bit more informed of where we going with this, now I pass the table to Evan Kleiman to just talk about how we're going to consolidate this roster and kind of open up some space for flexibility going into next year.
So for everybody, this is Evan Kleiman speaking. I put everybody into about 3 different categories. I have locks, keep on two-way, or expendable / gotta go. My first locks that have to be on the team next year if I'm the GM is John Morant, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr., G.G. Jackson, Brandon Clark, Marcus Smart, Lamar Stevens, Vince Williams, Derrick Rose, and either Scottie Pippen or Jordan Goodwin. So if you name it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys right there. Those guys should be on the team. And plus draft pick if we get draft pick. That's 10, 11 guys. Keep on two-way. I got Trey Jemison and whoever you don't choose having a full contract between Scottie Pippen or Jordan Goodwin. So if you put Jordan Goodwin on the full, put Scott on the two-way, and vice versa. Put Scott on the full, put Jordan Goodwin on the two-way. Expendable / gotta go means Luke, Jitty, Zaire Williams, Jake LaRavia, and Santi Aldama. Those are the guys, if it's up to Evan Kleiman, are not on the team next year. I know I'm switching. I know everybody, if y'all been listening for the past weeks, I was a big keep Luke Kennard on the team type guy. But now I'm thinking, if I'm Evan Kleiman, oh my gosh, if I'm Zach Kleiman, I'm putting Luke, Jit, Zaire, and in all the trades, because I'm a definitely F them picks type of guy. All them into a trade package for a big man if you want to keep that. Those 3 are for my big man. And Jake and Santi, those contracts, they still got decently sized contract, but not too much. Those are for whatever else you need after the draft. That's how I would compartmentalize that. But also with caveats. If the right deal comes around, I'm sorry, Mark Smart, you gotta go. Only if the right deal comes around.
But I hope he don't listen to this podcast, bro. We done damn near traded him 3 times in the last 3 weeks, bro. And not on purpose, bro.
And we love Smart. I'm just saying he's the perfect guy, value for your team and also value for the trade market. That's only if the right perfect deal comes on.
It's gotta be the perfect deal.
It gotta be the perfect. It gotta be helping us. You gotta put us over the hump. So that's how I see it. All those other guys, like with John Dez, they're staying on the team regardless. But the guys between Luke, Zaire, Jake, and Santi, those are the guys that I'm putting in all the trade talks, all the draft packages, all that to get off the team. Because then that'll leave you with around 13, 14 guys, and then you can fill out last 2 guys off if that's a G League guy or another draft pick. Because we love getting guys in the second round. We love trading for guys and getting a second round draft pick. So if you want to get another, a Kenley Chandler type, because we got him second round. I know I'm just thinking about guy if you got him recent this past few years. Any guy you got in the second round, you maybe sign him. But that's how I would divide the team. That's how I divide the team. I'm not saying I won't Kenley Chandler back on the team. I'm just a second round draft pick, Chris. Chill out.
Look, this ain't even to you. I just for the listeners. If you listening not on YouTube, I'm just shaking my head until he get done talking because I do not want. We are still paying him $2 million a year for the next 2 years after this season. Yeah, it ain't a lot of money, but man, hell no. Go
still
anyway,
money.
Keep going, brother. My bad.
No, you straight. You straight. But that's how I would divide the team. That is how I divide the team about people that would lock, two-way guys, and expendable, hit the bricks, hit the showers, get out. Yeah, those are my guys.
So before I give my opinion on what you said, because I like your idea, do you have anybody in particular that you would use these players and picks to bring in? I know you talked about a big, but I'm one of those type of people. I like to put names. Yeah, I like to put it in writing of who we're going for. So is anybody in particular, whether it be big man or even maybe another role player of some sort? Is there any type of player or team that you would be looking to make a phone call, Mr. Evan Kleiman, to consolidate this roster with?
Well, of course, if I'm speaking in hyperbole or I'm speaking in realistically, it's two different conversations. If I'm speaking realistically,
give me both. Give me both. But just if you're talking about hypothetically, don't make it too off the wall. Obviously,
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but yeah, give me both.
Like if I'm speaking realistically, let's just say for a big man, of course I'm calling the New York Knicks for Isaiah Hartenstein, obviously. I'm calling the Brooklyn Nets for Nick Claxton, which
That's over.
Isaiah, he playing too well. The Knicks ain't giving him
He
up.
playing too well. Yeah.
He's playing too well. I'm calling the Brooklyn Nets because Nick Claxton, that's a dumpster fire. I bet Nick Claxton wants to get out of there. Worst case scenario, I'm calling the Chicago Bulls to get Andre Drummond on the phone. That's like worst case scenario type.
Free agent, we ain't got to do that.
Oh yeah,
sign and trade. You can do a sign and trade.
Sign and
trade. Yeah.
Also, I'm calling the Knicks because I've loved, even though both of them guys not gonna leave, but the right deal comes along. I don't know why. I just love them. Doesn't even change on Josh Hart. I don't know why. I just love those guys, how they hoop. They just got dogs. Like, you can never have too many dogs on the team. So I'm still putting them guys on the phone. Trying to think who else that I would probably call. I'm no one from Denver because I would love Christian Braun and Mike Porter Jr., but they ain't giving up them.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think who else is in the playoffs right now that's like really good. That's like can't really think of no one on top of my head right now. Of course, like hyperbole be like a Bam, but that's not gonna happen.
See, now you going crazy.
Yeah, like that's not gonna happen. I'm trying to think on top of my head. Like, you never know. Like if the Heat keep losing, hey, you never know. But that was the guy on top of my head right now. Honestly, I'll be calling Detroit for Jalen Duren. Still young, but hey, throw the right package at him. I'm also calling Toronto for Precious Achiuwa. Bring Precious back to the crib. I love Precious Achiuwa. Those are another guys I would
New
think
York.
that he's in New York.
Yeah.
He was in Toronto. Now he's in New York now.
Yeah.
So yes. I'm just anywhere in New York. I love New York right now.
I'm about to say he's like a New York fan, bro.
Yeah, like Precious. I love Precious. I don't know why. I've always liked since he was in Memphis. Bring him back to the crib. Bring Jalen Duren back to the crib. Yeah, those are the guys that I'm just off the top of my head that I would like, yeah, those guys that kind of fit the limit. I'm giving up. I'll say Mikal Bridges, but I've kind of given up on getting Mikal Bridges to Memphis, honestly. Like, yeah, if it happens, but I don't see that ever happening again. Yeah, those are the type of guys I will be on the phone with that I was trying to see, like, try to throw some feelers out for sure. And of course, as we talked about last week, if the Clippers lose, and as recording, the Clippers barely won that game. They just won. They almost blew a 31-point lead, but they only won by 5. Kyrie dropped 38 points. Kyrie dropped 38. Luka dropped 26, 10, and 10. And Paul George went crazy, though. But the fact that they only blew a 31-point lead and fairly scared away says a lot. But yes, obviously the prize possession is getting Paul George if and when the Clippers get knocked out of the playoffs. So those are teams that I'm calling to try to fill out our championship roster.
Yeah, most definitely. I took this idea, and I think we talked about it on here as well. My first phone call, if I'm consolidating this roster, man, is number one, like you said, we got a need at center. I'm packaging that first pick. I don't care where it lands. I'm packaging another future first if I got to make it happen. And I'm packaging probably Zaire, probably maybe Jake as well if we can make that happen. And I'm calling, if they don't want that, I'll give them Luke. I'll just give them Luke and some picks. But like you said, I'm calling Detroit trying to get Jalen Duren on his roster. More than likely, if they get that first pick, I don't know if the NBA basketball gods, and I put air quotes because I think Adam Silver is back there actually picking who he wants, what pick to go to. You can do the little ball thing all you want to. That don't really do nothing for me.
Big conspiracy theories here. Chris loves the conspiracy.
I'm just saying, bro. Like I don't buy that. But you gave them Cade Cunningham a couple years ago, and we see what's happening. So if they get another first pick, I'll be surprised. But if they do, they probably gonna get Alexander Sarr. I say go ahead and get them another same, top 5-ish pick because I do think our pick is gonna be in the top 5 at the end of the day. I think we'll get rewarded for trying to compete still. You get them another top 5 pick this year to find another player that they think can go well with their core or replace a guy that was, maybe not as great in the core that they want. We may be able to grab another piece off of that board. Maybe they get tired of Jaden Hardy. Maybe they want to move, some other young pieces on that squad. I don't know who it would be, but that's my first call. Just trying to get as many deals where I can maybe send out 2 players and bring back 1. Or maybe if I can find a deal where it's just sending an expiring contract like a Jake LaRavia or a Zaire Williams and just taking back nothing. Maybe you just give us some picks back, second round pick.
Yeah.
We need to find a way to do that. And if we can get maybe 1 or 2 roster spots open, Because like I said, right now we're at 12. If we can get it down to 10 before we even talk about Luke Kennard, either him or trading him to bringing somebody back in, I think you're in a good spot. Because again, if you don't use that pick, then great. We're going to probably get a player back anyway. But if you use that pick, that puts you to 11, 12. You still probably want to have some type of flexibility at the back half of your roster. But I tell you, man, like I keep talking about him on this show, and I'm not going to let it go because I think he's a very highly versatile player. I want Dorian Finney-Smith on this team, bro. I just do. Like a guy that's big, can rebound, he can shoot. And again, from what we're watching in his playoffs right now, you just got to have enough guys that can do the stuff that he does. And you put him next to the dogs that we have, you know, that's the thing that we lack has been size and shooting. If we got a guy like that that can maybe in spurts play some small ball 5 next to Jerry. You know what I'm saying? They say he's 6'8" on paper. When I see him on the court, he look all of the 6'9", 6'10" to me next to certain guys. A player like that, plus if you can get a Jalen Duren or you can get some type of just role filling center. I think with the rest of them guys you got in that group, man, I always say it, like I got high expectations as long as it goes back to what we talked about in the last topic or the last segment in regards to putting them guys in the best position to win. But talent wise, if you can just do small moves like that,
you're straight.
You're gonna be good next year, bro. I don't see the people like it, you know, and I don't follow nobody's opinion. I just don't sometimes understand how you get to that methodology of thinking anyway. I respect your opinion. I just may not agree, but it's a lot of like doom and gloom on this team next year for some reason, just because, and not just our fans, it's out there in the NBA as well. Like, it really sucked. The Thunder have surpassed them. Man, we were injured, bro. Like, what are you?
We had 33 players suit up this season. Like, come on, man. Chill out.
Ja Morant ain't forget how to play basketball. Devin Bane not going to wake up.
9 games, bro. He had a messed up toe and a messed up back.
Like Dez he ain't touched the Space Jam ball. He ain't lost his talent yet.
He ain't lost his powers. We still know how to hoop. We just didn't hoop this year. Like
I don't get it. And when I had those conversations, you know, either on or off the internet, on Twitter, and I just don't understand the thinking behind it. I get certain players are looking better, but we're gonna be better too.
We are much better, much better.
So, yeah, man, that's just kind of where I'm at, man. I think the consolidation of that back half. I had conversations last year, and people try to always take it the wrong way. Like, they would say, why are we arguing about, you know, end of bench guys? And my whole thing was, it's not about them per se.
It's about the value they can bring in, the stuff that you can get for them.
Yeah. Exactly. Pick one and just move them. I applaud them for moving off David Roddy. You want to know why?
Why?
The Phoenix Suns have been getting their ass kicked. I did go ahead and predict them getting swept tonight. And David Roddy does not get a single minute unless they're getting blown out at the end of the game.
No clock at all.
This is a dude we were starting in periods, bro.
Yeah, no clock.
Like, think about that. Xavier Tillman. I love X.
No clock.
He ain't getting no clock for the Boston.
No clock.
Like, these guys we were forcing in the pegs, like, they just wasn't working. And it's like they good support players. They good 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be starting.
They're not key rotational pieces to a championship roster.
And it's showing that. And that's been my whole thing. Pick your 1 or 2 guys and just move on, bro. Just move on so that we can bring in guys that if something happens, plug and play. Just solid vets, solid guys we know they can hit a timely shot and move on.
Yeah,
that's really
Facts.
Yep. But that's all I got, man. Anything else you want to hit on that before we get out of here?
Nah, man. Just trust in climbing. That's all I got to say. We trust in climbing. We're going to be optimistic for this offseason. Big offseason. Again, I'm going to give Grizzly fans, enjoy the playoffs because this offseason is going to be hectic. I'm telling y'all now. Enjoy the next month and a half of the playoffs because soon as whoever carry up the Larry Brown trophy is going to be straight offseason talking. Y'all going to be tripping over everything y'all hear from Woj, from Shams, from all. Y'all going to be in a frenzy.
Michael Cole, everybody.
So just, please enjoy the next few months of the playoffs of just watching some good basketball because as soon as whoever wins the championship, y'all gonna be in a frenzy. Y'all gonna be tripping over everything and anything y'all hear. You may hear a rumor about this dude and this dude and this.
Bro, it's coming.
He's gonna come like wildfire, bro. It's gonna be coming.
In this next week, you're gonna probably hear some crazy stuff.
And the playoffs still going on.
Yes, sir.
You hear some Jonte Mary request a trade or something. Like, who cares? Like, it's gonna be something crazy like that. So just enjoy the playoffs, bro. Enjoy the playoffs. This our first time having a stress-free playoffs in a long time. Like, just enjoy the playoffs, bro. Like, just enjoy the playoffs. That's all I gotta say. Enjoy the playoffs, be basketball fans. And if y'all don't watch the playoffs because y'all Grizzlies not playing, fine, respect that. I'ma still be watching.
Me too.
I'm still watching. I'm still
Shit,
be
I'm
tuned
scouting
in.
the whole time. Shit.
Real talk. You need to be writing your notes down on who you want to be in the Grizzlies uniform next year. Real talk.
Oh, and let me say this one thing because this was on my mind, bro. I'm sorry. I'm glad you brought.
No, you
that
straight.
up.
You straight.
That's one key thing that I left out when I'm talking about how this playoffs is affecting next year and how they should look at it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that during the offseason last year was putting their nose up at certain role players that not just me. I ain't saying just me, but it's people period were throwing out there like maybe the Grizzlies should go after this guy, this guy, this guy. You got people that overthink this shit, and then you'll see them on a playoff contending team that's after actually contributing to winning. And it's like, we are not better than nobody. We don't even have the room to talk.
No.
When it comes to like putting out, now if a player just got some really bad off the court issues, I got this. But like a player that is able to contribute in a ball game, bro, like if he wants to play ball and we are interested in him, I'm all on board with bringing in players. And I'm talking about players like a Kelly Oubre or players like just anybody, bro, that's out there on the market. You can get these guys a lot of time for next to nothing. That's how these championship teams are building championships.
Facts.
This is what they do. We are not no better because we want to hold on to Jake LaRavia and Zaire Williams for what they might be. No, give me a guy that what he is.
Hey, I ain't gonna hold you. You talk about that. I want D'Anthony Melton back. On some real talk. I want D-Mel. I don't know if everyone feel that same way about me. You tell me we can't pay one of them guys to get D-Mel back? I
think I'll talk to you about that off the record. I would love to have D-Mel back though. I'll just say that.
I love D-Mel players who you said that it comes from the top of my head because you said Kelly Oubre, so I thought about D'Anthony Melton. Yeah. But I agree with you. A lot of people just get up in arms about what these guys off the court stuff and what they could or cannot. Just let these boys hoop, bro. Like they here to play basketball. Like we get so invested in what people doing outside basketball and their image. Like, don't got nothing to do with us. You still
you on some weird shit too. When you go home and get off work behind closed doors, you on some weird shit too.
Yes, so, but people forget these guys are playing basketball because it's their job. They're going to work just like any one of us right now. Yep. Just let these people go because if they sign their name on that contract, just like how y'all are, if y'all work MLGW, Fox, Commercial Appeal, whatever, Amazon, who cares? Y'all gonna have to work. You feel me? So let these dudes come to Memphis if they decide to. If we trade for them and let them come to work and let them build a championship team.
That's it.
Why don't get worried about all the off the court stuff, bro? Unless it's like a huge distraction where it's like a detriment to your team.
Right.
Let these boys hoop. Straight like that.
Right. Give me hoopers all day, every day of the week.
Straight like that.
Make sure y'all drop in the comments below, man, how y'all think they should, prioritize players going into the season. How you would consolidate if you were the GM. And we definitely want to hear from you in that regard. Before we get out of here, I'm going to keep putting these out here just because we want y'all to be, I'm excited for them. So hopefully y'all excited for these days too, man. The draft lottery is coming. Literally May is next week. Or it's this week, actually. I'm sorry. That's how fast it's coming up.
14 days away.
Come on, man. I'm excited for the lottery. That's coming on. We'll know where we're picking, which will then kind of help us get more info on, what ways the Grizzlies may or may not go. But once we know that pick is ingrained, it's going to be some conversations had for sure. We saving that. We saving that. The draft is about a month after that, June 26th and 27th. Again, remember it's 2 days this year. Don't know why, but we'll roll with it. And then NBA free agency will begin on the 30th. So it's gonna be some exciting times, man. I'm excited for anything that's coming and everything that's coming this off season. Again, make sure if you want to become a sponsor or have that conversation, give us an email down below. Evan, anything coming from you, my guy?
Not right now.
The season is over.
The season is over. I just got back to Memphis. I'm gonna talk to my boy Lou Hatmaker about like some stores I want to do this season. But hey, I'm just trying to, for once in my life, enjoy being a 20-year-old person and not trying to work my tail off. But we gonna see what happens. But that does not mean I'm not coming to you with fire like this. I'm still doing this podcast every week. Yeah. But I'm kind of try to enjoy being a young adult for once in my life, for sure.
Do your thing, bro. Don't grow up too fast, man. Don't grow up too fast on it.
Can't do that.
Well, make sure y'all give us a follow on Twitter, man. Again, we appreciate all the support there, here, everywhere. And we're going to get up out of here, man. Make sure y'all tap in everywhere that we post, whether it be YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. And we'll be back next week for another episode of the No Bluffin podcast, man. Y'all be safe, stay blessed, and go Grizz.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the No Bluffing Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.